So it's something that I strongly, for those of us who don't show our faith, I strongly suggest, in order to help yourself actually live and breathe the Christ that lives within you, not to segregate. Let it be your true identity, throughout, inside and out. Sure.
How do we exercise our faith, like in a situation where you need to fire a person, like fire some people, a couple of people, like moving to the firm for so many years, they are good working, you just need to fire them just because your stock prices of the company is going down.
I actually went through that a few years ago, and I was devastated.
Can you repeat what he said? I'm sorry.
He wants to know, how do you deal with when we have to let go people, fire people? Let's say the company is not doing well, and so you have to let go of a few people. It was tough. It was really tough. The senior managers, or the CFO, actually pulled us into a room, and those of us who were in the room were the ones who remained. Everyone else, all our other teams, were gone. These are people I worked with for 10 years. We've developed, been to each other's birthday parties, weddings, it was tough. You try, in this case, when they first made the announcement, my tears came out and everybody was shocked. I wasn't afraid to hide that this was hurtful. It was me and someone else, and everyone just looked at us, and I was like, this is very hurtful. This was unexpected. How do you tell people your last day is so-and-so, So the CFO pulled me into her office, and she reassured me that they were getting excellent packages, which I was grateful for that she shared that with me, because, people have mortgages and kids and school, it's a lot, And she showed me the different packages that were presented to the people that were being let go. So they got a great package. Compensation, vacation time, they were paid, so that they could at least be 6 to 8 months, depending on when their date, because we did it in shifts, when their last day was. So that helped me feel a little bit more comfortable that we're not throwing people out into the street and say, well, it's been real, see ya, hate to be ya. And the other thing was using my influence, my contacts in other banks, in other firms. We started making phone calls. Anybody I knew, do you need someone I can recommend these? And we were trying to get them jobs. So, these things happen. Bad things happen to good people. But what do you do in that instance? You don't freak out. You don't start blaming this one, that one. That's not productive. And God would want me to share hope and give promise for tomorrow. And so what we did was we picked up phones and we tried to get these people jobs. And I would say 90% of them got jobs within the next 2 or 3 months, because we were there. Even though they left us, we were still trying to help them find jobs. So it's not easy. Every situation is unique, but you try to turn it so that, again, it's not half empty, it's half full. Yes. Sure.
I think one of the things you want to think about is compassion. You want to be compassionate, but you also want to understand that God has a bigger picture that you don't know about, and you will never understand. But you pray for that. So, this has happened to me. So I've been in it. Getting fired, losing your job, being displaced, it's not necessarily a bad thing, always. It may be horrible for you, but it may be terrible for that person at that time. But you have to believe that, we're out here for a reason, right? There's a plan for us. And I think it's important for each one of us to discern that and try to figure out what that is. And I think what you're getting at is you're getting yourself emotionally involved in trying to help that person. You might be defeating God's plan by doing that. I'm not saying you are or not, but maybe God put that person there because He could do that. So you have to do what you feel you need to do. the other person has to take it upon themselves and figure out, why did this happen to me? Where am I going? A lot of times, doors open, windows, jump through, and if good things happen from bad things, not all the time, but I think if you believe in Jesus, and you believe that, but then again, if you want to be like Jesus, then do you really want to be a martyr? Because, Jesus died for us. So are we all going to die for a cause, for something? So we're all giving of ourselves. And actually I heard this on the radio today. God or Jesus wants us to be like that, right? We want to be like Jesus. And I think that's where it comes full circle into the workplace. So I just wanted to say that.
Thank you.
Letting someone go. It's a tough thing, but I think compassion, understanding. That person's not a bad person. They just maybe, the situation, it could have been anything. Corporate restructuring.
And that's exactly what it was, a corporate restructuring. Yeah. Yeah, it's not an easy, and everybody's situation is unique to them, and you go with it as you see where it takes you. And if you have faith in God, you know that everything happens for a reason.
What do you do when God opens like 5 windows? How do you know which one is a path? How do you leave one job and you feel like you're leaving them stranded? How do you decide if that's right for you? How to do it in a way that's just and compassionate? When you leave a job, you're leaving someone, in my case, a world without a mentor. How do you walk away from a situation like that? Take another one where you make another impact. How do you leave that just and Christian when you know that you opened up something that you prayed for and you asked for and that does even more for people, but you're still leaving an impact?
Sure.
Just so I know some folks didn't hear it. So the gist of the question is just, thank you. So what do you do when you feel like God has opened multiple windows, multiple doors? How do you decide which one is the right one? Is that,
if you're asking me from a personal perspective or from a Catholic perspective, the way I see it is God taught the disciples, did he not? And he had to leave them so that they can carry on.
Can you say that again?
I said that Jesus taught the disciples what they needed to know to go and preach the word, to heal, to bring the Holy Spirit, to baptize, to do everything that he taught them because he was going to leave. He prepared them.
Right.
So to you, I say, for those that you've been mentoring, they need to learn how to fly on their own, and you can go and help others. That's one thing. The other thing is, like I told one of my adopted daughters, was make a list, pros and cons. What's important to you? Where are you going to make the most impact? Whatever's important to you, salary, location, your time, the stress, the hours, all of that. You have to put that all into perspective because, again, this is affecting your life, your everyday life. So that's another way that, from a business standpoint, I do a lot of pros and cons, And from a religious standpoint, I say there's got to be a time when, you teach them the way and they have to learn how to fly solo. Okay, you have to have confidence in that as well. And just like Christ taught the disciples and they went on once he was gone.